went and bought a freaking Arizona tea. That shit was $109. I said, "How that shit $109, bro? The price on the can.
The price literally be on the can. I ain't not saying
the price on the can,
bro." Question out the gate: shouldn't it be cheaper with you living in the state of Arizona? I would understand that price if it was anywhere else. If it was anywhere else, but stay woke, people. Like if I'm buying an Arizona tea and I live in the state of Arizona, I should get that at a discount.
And I'm upset because I ain't seen no kind of exotic flavors. I ain't seen shit. I just seen just normal raspberry and half and half.
Well, too bad
no exotic
is not in Arizona though.
Oh, the irony. Where's it? Where's it?
Arizona headquarters is in Woodbury, New York. I know that is the ultimate downer.
So appropriation at its finest.
Why the name of
appropriate?
I have no idea.
You could have fooled me. Like
the niggas ain't drinking no sweet tea in New York. That's what that is.
They hardly don't. They hardly don't think. They don't even know what sweet tea is up east. It's no disrespect.
Have you had a sweet tea in New York? Have you had a sweet tea in New York?
No.
Good answer, because the people that live there have never had there's a sweet tea, but there's a difference between sweet tea in New York and a sweet tea in Memphis or sweet tea in the South. Two totally different things.
Man, it's just true heartbreak when you go somewhere and ask for sweet tea and be like, we don't have it. True heartbreak. True heartbreak.
That's crazy. Yeah. Inflation something else, bro. Everything is expensive.
Yeah.
$250 for a sneaker. That's crazy. But anyway, man, let's be real. We here with the real. Man, without further ado, man, let's get right on to it. As always, per usual. Let's get it, fellas.
Welcome to Let's Be Real Sports Podcast, presented by Let's Be Real Media. Watch us live on YouTube and Twitter, and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at LBR_media. Also, subscribe to us on any podcasting platform.
What's going on? BLJ here, the best hype man in the NBA. Man, I'm here with Let's Be Real. Tune in. Hello.
Let's be real.
What's going on, world, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Let's Be Real Sports Podcast. I am your host, Tev Shakir. Took is what they call me as well. We got good guys right here to my left. What up, Trev?
Yo, what's good, everybody? This your guy, Trev. We are approaching another great time in sports. We hitting that March to April period. March Madness is here. The NBA season about to ramp up as we near the playoffs. Spring training is underway for baseball. We here. What's good, everybody?
We here. Well, we know who ain't here. Lito, where you go? Lito definitely coming back, but definitely got Lito on this thing as well. Of course, man, make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure you like. What up, Ryan? What up, Ryan? Make sure you do everything you're supposed to on YouTube. Again, we have a few subscribers away from that 200. So help us get there, man. Help us get there. Speaking of 200, man, shout out to 3 the Hardaway. We're like 30 subscribers away from YouTube for 3 the Hardaway.
I got a trivia for y'all next time.
We got trivia. Ooh, text it to me. Text it to me.
Right,
yeah, let's get it. Definitely. So we'll be recording another episode of 3 the Hardaway on Tuesday. Of course, shout out to the Jeans Report. Shout out to Let's Be Real Gaming with yours truly at Trevor.
Simply
Lito.
Trevor LBR.
Simply Trevor LBR. There we go. There's Lito, bam. What up, Lito? There we go. We good.
I'm still as bad as AT&T, bro. Clearly.
God dang. See, you shouldn't have got on their ass, bro. Now they got to get on your ass, bro.
I bet them folks like that damn Lido keep talking about AT&T. Now we on his ass.
Exactly.
You been humble, bro. I think that'd be good next week, bro. You been humble.
I hope so, bro. I hope so.
Of course, I got Ryan in the comments, man. Shout out to Ryan with the Jump Pass Pod, man. Make sure y'all go check everybody out. We here, we lit,
great content.
We all make great content, bro. We on the rise.
Yes, we are.
We on the rise, and of course, there may or may not be a couple other podcasts in the tuck. So just rock with us while you can, bro, because the price going up. We let you know that right now.
100%.
Man, you keeping that secret like it's one in the chamber.
We do. Hey. So somebody, all I'm gonna say is somebody up to something. We gonna leave it at that.
Man, so I got 3 and 1 in the chamber.
We up to something, man. But now let's get it going, man. Speaking of up to something, y'all put me on game, bro. As far as like the Tigers and them being on a 3-game streak, what we got, Trev?
Man, look, since our last Tiger Talk, man, when we basically really had questions about where things were going with the Tigers going forward, especially with the news came out about Malcolm Dangerous and things of that nature. They had a big home game against FAU that they absolutely must have won, which they eventually did. And from there, they followed it up with another win again. I believe prior to that, they came with a win against Charlotte. They were able to knock off FAU, and then they followed it up with basically just dismantling East Carolina. So the Tigers are streaking right now, and it seems like things are starting to click at the right time. They do have another matchup with FAU. I believe it's tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, I believe it's next week or something like that.
Next week.
It's next week. Okay. So at this point, it seems like things are starting to click at the right time for the Tigers. And at this point, for them to even sniff the NCAA tournament, we're all pretty certain that they have to win the AAC tournament, which it's not as far-fetched at this point now as a lot of people may have thought maybe just a couple of weeks ago or maybe even a few months ago. So my question to the guys is, can the Tigers actually do it? Can they run the table or at least win the AAC tournament and still a seed, maybe a low end, probably that 10 to 16 range, still a seed in the NCAA tournament?
Yes. I still have my hesitations about them. But one of the biggest things that I've seen, or one of the biggest adjustments that I've seen, which is something that we've talked about on this podcast relentlessly, is the shortening of the rotation. That's what we've seen. We've seen a shortening of the rotation. We are still seeing both Hardaway players. We're still seeing Jaden. We're still seeing Ashton, but we're not seeing them in the amount of minutes that we were accustomed to seeing. We're not seeing several players that, again, it's no shade to anybody, right? But we're on this podcast to be real, right? And so there are people that are playing now and people that are getting more minutes now than they were essentially getting a month or 2 months ago, right? So like you're seeing Quinterly minutes jump up to the, skyrocket through the roof. You're seeing David Jones minutes skyrocketing through the roof. Naquan Tomlin, Jesus Christ. I've been saying for like a month and a half, get the man the ball in the post. And he's looked very similar and providing the same energy that DeAndre Williams has provided, grabbing rebounds, grabbing offensive rebounds, making jump shots, getting the ball on the block, getting the footwork together and, putting the ball off the glass, in the hoop for an and one. Like, that's what I want to see. And so we've seen where we didn't know the pecking order. We've seen like, okay, who's the number one guy on the team? Who's supposed to play second fiddle to David Jones? You're now seeing it where it's like David Jones who gets ball first and who is the focal point of the offense. But then now you're seeing it to where like it was probably David Jones and Jahvar Quinterly. Now it's David Jones and Naquan Tomlin. Naquan Tomlin has been balling. Trevor talked about the 3-game win streak. Like Naquan Tomlin is averaging like 16 and like 8 over the past like 3 games. And that's what I want to see. Again, like when he was brought to the team, I looked at the highlights and was like, Cuz is balling. But we just wouldn't give him the ball in the post. The points that he was getting would be off of offensive rebounds or would be hustle points, which is fine and dandy. But when you need to slow things down, when you need to say, okay, I need somebody to give me a bucket, or hey, David Jones doesn't have it, so who else can I find on the floor to give me a bucket or two or three? It's Naquan Tomlin. So you're seeing that, and then you're also seeing Javon Corneley, who has now revamped his game. He maybe not still, maybe shooting the ball necessarily well, but he's controlling the offense. Again, what we saw in December, controlling the offense, has a 4 or 5 to 1 turnover to assist to turnover ratio, which is what we needed. Right. So like that's the stuff that we needed, and that's the stuff that we saw in December. So again, you're starting to see things come to fruition. You're starting to see the same team in February that we saw in December. So I just really want them to continue to do that. But if nothing else, again, I said this last week, they're playing as if like we have energy. They're playing as if I'm the best, we're the best team on the floor, and regardless, whatever 5, 6, or 7, or 8 that you run on the floor, my guys got it. We got it. The energy that I'm seeing from everybody, the cohesiveness that I'm seeing from everybody, they all showed up to Penny's weekly talk show on this past Monday, and like that's what I want to see. I just want to see that you care. And now that I'm seeing that they care, again, they've won 3 straight. They got UAB tomorrow. They get essentially 5 or 6 days off before they play FAU next Saturday. So if they can win convincingly tomorrow, beat FAU again, and I don't think you necessarily need to win the AAC tournament. I think you would love to, because if you win the AAC tournament, regardless of what the heck you did in January, you're in. But if they can win, if they can finish the regular season, they have 2 more games in the regular season. And if they can at least make it to the semifinals, even make it to the championship game of the AAC tournament, I think that they're in, based off of the resume that they built in the month of December. So they can do it. I'm still a little apprehensive about it, but if they come out and play with the energy that they played with in the past 2 weeks, they can definitely do
it. Okay. All right. Let me see. I was just checking to see where they were as far as bracketology is concerned. So, yeah, if they can honestly take care of business today against UAB, as well as handle business against FAU, because FAU right now, as I guess, like the last 4 byes, so I believe they're like one of the I guess the 11th seed. So if they have a decent showing in the AAC tournament, I still say you should just go and win it, just to kind of leave no doubt that you handle your business and got in the NCAA tournament. But there is a scenario to where if Memphis at least gets to the semifinals, or even if they lose in the championship of the AAC tournament, they may throw Memphis a bone here and they can get in as I could see them again as probably an 11. And honest and truthfully, with the way things have been looking in college basketball this season, I would not be surprised if Memphis snuck in and actually won 2 games and got to the Sweet 16. That's just how crazy this season has been. But yeah, to Skylar's point, kudos to the Tigers on what they've been doing this past couple of games. Tomlin has been playing out of his mind, has been playing amazing. I feel like if you run the offense through him, it opens it up for everyone else. Like, we know what we can get with David Jones. Corneley is doing a much better job getting back to what he was doing earlier in the season, to the Skylar's point, and control of the offense. So yeah, man, sky's the limit for the Tigers, man. They could actually get it done. But it remains to be seen. Toop, you got anything you want to add? I know we trying to get you connected. So you got
I'm gonna get back tapped in. I promise. But I did come, and it's funny that y'all brought up Tomlin, because I did want to come into just on the outside looking in. First of all, first and foremost, Ryan, I think, hit it on the head when he said that they seemed like they had a come to Jesus moment. And just on the outside looking in, when you are a top 10 team and you fall all the way, literally a week of being 10 and then drop, something behind the scenes have to happen. So you need to go ahead and figure that shit out. And I think, like y'all say, y'all watched the last 2 games, so y'all can see a difference. So I'm trusting you guys have. And just to bring my point around, you brought up Tomlin, and I was coming into, the pod asking, we've had the Jalen Durans of the world. We've had the DeAndre Williams of the world to go ahead and get that easy bucket when we need it. The only name I've really been hearing all season was Malcolm being eliminated. That could be it too.
What up, Cap?
That could be it. What up, Cap? that could be it. But now the only name I really heard names really is Quinterly and David Jones for sure. So I just wanted to, come into this spot and ask y'all, what's that a person by chance we can have to go get a bucket inside? And y'all just answer it with Tomlin. But y'all have any like other X factors going forward to make sure that we can get into the tournament?
Yeah, Nick Jourdain, I've become a huge fan of because he's a guy that can defend multiple positions. You've seen times and instances where he and sometimes Malcolm Dandridge, and I mean, early in the season, I wasn't comfortable with seeing it, but as the season has gone on, and I've seen them do it game after game, is be able to guard be able to guard the guard position as well. Nick Jourdain is hustling, doing some of the similar things that Tomlin is doing. He just didn't get the volume that Tomlin has. Jourdain can knock down the three. Not necessarily too comfortable with the mid-range jumper, but he can do that. He can get the ball on the block. Go up, left hand, right hand. Get the and one. But he's hustling. He's jumping to get loose balls out of bounds, getting on the floor, whatever the case may be. And you saw that in the game on, I think it was Wednesday against East Carolina. Granted, that's East Carolina, and I'm not sure if the Tigers have ever lost to East Carolina. But again, you'll take it, right? Because again, that's energy that you were not seeing through the first 2 or 3 weeks of January. So I'll take it regardless of who it's against. So if you can have, again, Cornely, Jones, Tomlin, Jourdain, and even Walton, who's been able to provide offense as well. If you can get at least 2, maybe even 3 of those 4 or 5 on the same page where they can score at will and they're providing energy, there's a lot of teams in this country that they can beat. They just all have to collectively come together and say, we're going to win this game because we have talent alone that's capable of carrying us over the top.
Trev, you have one?
No, because Skylar took mine. It was actually Nick Jourdain to everything that Skylar mentioned about Nick Jourdain. So yeah, kudos. And I got nothing else on it.
Cool. All right, man. When the Tigers next game? Want to play again?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. They're at UAB.
I'll be in. We got UAB tomorrow.
Yep. All right. I'm gonna try my hardest to watch.
No, that's all good.
I'm gonna be honest, man. College basketball has been tough to watch on the men's side. So you're not. It's rough, but just give it a chance.
My God, I appreciate that. All right. Before we move to the NBA, the association, let's hear a word from our sponsor, SeatGeek.
SeatGeek is the ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. When you use our code LBR Media, you will get $20 off your first SeatGeek order. SeatGeek scores each ticket selection 0 to 10 to let you know if you're getting a good deal or a bad deal. Click the link in the description to download the app and remember our code LBR Media for $20 off your first order. SeatGeek, your route to high quality ticket selection.
Bad. So Lito wanted to introduce us with a new segment. He wanted to call it Of the Week. I'm going to say Of the Pod. So let's hear it for our Let's Be Real Pop, our player of the pod.
For sure. Yeah, so this is what the game is, or this segment is very similar to Flowers, but it's specific to only the NBA. And so as we get through the final stretch of the NBA season, I want us to highlight a player, or maybe even sometimes a team here or there, where dang, they had a big moment, or they had a really, really great performance. The times where Joel Embiid has 60, or Luka has a 50-point triple-double, whatever the case may be. So we'll all collectively come up, well, not all collectively, but we'll each individually come up with a player to say, this is my player that I watched this week, and this is the moment, where in which I'm calling him out. So I'll go first. My player of the week, or my Let's Be Real Pop, is Max Strus. Specifically calling out the game that he had against the Dallas Mavericks. Wife is a huge Mavs fan, and we watched the game from beginning to end. And talk about competitive. You talk about knockout blows, tough shots being taken, tough shots being made. Max Strus had 15 points in the final 350-ish.
Yep.
And I mean, literally could not miss. Like, Cuz was not even hitting the rim. So not only did he ball up until in those final 3 minutes, but had the game winning buzzer from 59 feet away over Luka Doncic's all net, and I was like, like what a game! And so I wanted to specifically highlight him before his performance. But ladies and gentlemen, the Cleveland Cavaliers are second in the East. I'm not sure how many of us are noticing that. I'm not sure how many of us are paying attention to that. But second in the East, and granted, they're still making winning percentage wise, tied with the Milwaukee Bucks. But right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers have the tiebreaker. But Cleveland is balling. Cleveland is looking really, really good. And so I want to start off this segment in this particular podcast talking about Max Strus and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So that's my guy of the week.
I think
that's a good one.
Yeah, I think Sheedy and myself, I probably were the only two that was kind of talking about the Cavs. Maybe not in a high regard as they are right now with them being second in the East, but they've been flying under the radar, been racking up some wins, and nobody's been talking about it, which is crazy.
And that's actually just one of the teams I watched, especially when Garland and Mobley went out, especially for an extended time, and just seeing Donovan just take over the offense. And I talked briefly on 3 to Hardaway about Jared Allen's pass and playmaking ability, which, is unheard of and underrated as well. So, yeah, Cavs are definitely under the radar for sure. They're number 2. But I think when you talk about the Cavs and specifically Donovan Mitchell, it's the playoff time we need to see some action in. So, of course, we want to salute them. But I think at this point in Donovan Mitchell's career, we've seen him do enough in the regular season. So I think that's kind of why as well. But salute to
they got to figure this thing out with him and Darius Garland. I just think they got to figure that out. I think for them to really go over the top, they got to figure that out because those two do not mesh. Because you see, when one of them is out of the lineup, Cleveland is playing exceptionally well. Because there was a point in time, I believe, last season when they were without Donovan Mitchell, and Cleveland was kind of on this similar run, and now it's the other way around. Darius Garland's out of the lineup as well as Evan Mobley, but Evan Mobley is going still taking some time with him. But now with Garland out of the lineup and Donovan Mitchell in, they're taking off as well. So they got to get those two to mesh. Once they get those two to mesh, then look out.
So question before we move to question before we move to either Tuka or Trevor. Like, let's say Garland and Mitchell can't get it right. Like, let's just say, like, I'm just going to get a good performance out of one of the two instead of both of them. What's the backup plan if the scenario is I can't get Garland going with Donovan Mitchell and everybody else going? What do y'all have an answer to what Cleveland can do in the event that I need scoring or I need this from the point guard position? What's Cleveland's answer? And maybe there is no answer, but I'm asking y'all.
I don't think there's an answer right now. I think honestly, with the way that their roster is constructed, I don't see them having a third. I don't see them having a third guy or another person that can pick up that slack when one of them is struggling. In theory, it was supposed to be Evan Mobley, but we haven't seen that just of yet. So that's a question Cleveland's going to have to answer probably in the offseason, because if I'm not mistaken, Donovan Mitchell's a free agent. At the end of the season, so you have to decide what. And I believe you already just gave. I think Darius Garland's in the middle of his extension already, so you have to make a decision on one of those two, or try to make some moves to get a third guy.
Gotcha.
I mean, based on what I see, I want to salute Karis LeVert too. I mean, at the same time, because that's 15 points, off the bench, and then you still got Max Strus, who, like I said, we giving a salute to as well. So I think when you do need offense, it's there, but I think this is a team that's, believe it or not, focused more on defense. They are really good on the defensive side of the ball, and of course there are some, Garland and Mitchell too small playing at backcourt, but you got small forward, power forward, and center 6'9" and above, so it's not too bad. It's working for them.
Yeah.
Definitely working for them. The player that I wanted to represent for the week kind of got me in trouble on social media in this last week, because before the last game, he only had 6 rebounds once in the last 9 games. Again, when you have a big man, a center, you expect more. But this guy had 13 rebounds and 33 points against 2 of the biggest. And I was shocked. Granted, I put money on him to do the over because I knew that he was gonna have heart, and I know these twos be listening to the pod, and I appreciate y'all for listening. What is Let's Be Real, 3 the hard away, jump pass, James report. What is anyone? They be listening. So the player of the week, my pop, would have to be Jaren Jackson Jr., who had an outstanding game against the Timberwolves. Of course, they lost because that's what we do now, but it's all gonna come together. The name of this episode, when a plan come together, it comes together with the Grease as well, Trevor. But now, Jaren Jackson, again, 13 rebounds is something I couldn't ask for more. So,
Wow.
we can ask for
That's
more.
mighty big of you, too. That was a good one.
Thank you, bro. It's maturity, maturation.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I wanted to call out. And I think, first of all, kudos to you for giving him that recognition. But I think we as a fan base, we specifically as a Memphis fan base, need to understand truly who Jaren Jackson is, right? We say on this podcast all the time, like, when a player shows you who they are, then believe them. So when I want Jaren Jackson to give me 8 to 10 to 13 rebounds, I have to understand that ain't him. So then what is him? Who is he? So then if he's giving me 20, 22 points and he's giving me 6 rebounds, then I just need to accept him for who he is. And so if he doesn't meet that benchmark, then maybe I can call him out. But the thoughts, the tweets, the suggestions, the ideas of Memphis needs to move on from him, or Jaren Jackson needs to be able to give me 30 points and 13 rebounds. That's not like that's not him. We have to realize and understand who he is and the sacrifices that he's made to want and to be on the team, right? Like, of the big three, he's the only one that's available. This ain't critiquing Ja, this ain't critiquing Dez, but where Jaren Jackson used to be, in my opinion, injury prone. I don't remember the last time Cuz was like out for a significant
injury.
So he's out. He's literally out there with us three as guards and wing players. Cuz exactly nobody. He's playing with people that was in South Haven 6 months ago. So I give him all the credit in the world. And Cuz has taken a beating on social media, and he's eating it. He's definitely eating it. But I think it's worthy to give him this recognition and this praise to say, thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for the those rebounds, effort that you gave. Continue to do everything that you can on the defensive end because we need it. But Lord and Jesus, when the man ain't on the floor, then you see a game that you saw yesterday. Against the Trailblazers. Give the man credit. So shout out to you, Trevor, for being mature.
Yeah, thank you for the 22 points a game. My bad, just 22 points a game.
Yeah, if I've come to the notion to accept that as well. Like, if Jaren only has 5 or 6 rebounds, that's fine. But if those additional 5 to 6 that people are asking for, if those are blocks instead, I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. So if he has like 24 or 5 rebounds and maybe 4 or 5 blocks, I will 100% take that, because that means he's making an impact on the defensive end, which he's been doing practically since he's gotten here. But my LBR pop for this week actually will go to Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder. This week, bruh has been pretty much has been balling. I watched the game Tuesday, that home game they had against the Rockets, and it looks as though that he's comfortable in his role. It looks like, I don't know if he's the second option or third option, but regardless, like, bruh is a bucket, and he has kind of like that Phoenix Joe Johnson type of deal, to where it doesn't jump out at you, but when you look at the box score, you like, well, damn, Jalen Williams had 26, because he had 26 in the game against the Spurs, even though that was caught in the midst of the Wemby Chet matchup, which sign me up for that, because that's I'll take that all day, every day. But yeah, big shout out to Jalen Williams. He looks like to be the perfect complement to Shea and Chet, and this team is scary. Unfortunately, they're gonna meet a unfortunate end, which will lead to my troll and all later. But yeah, shout out to Jalen Williams.
Yeah, one of the players that I know I've watched a whole lot of, but to give him credit and to give his teammate credit, Shea, bro, he has the smoothest 30-point games that I probably have ever probably up there with when Kawhi Leonard was in his prime. The smoothest 30-point games I've ever seen in my life. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen Shea sweat, bro. Cause like what he did to Paul George, the game against the Clippers, maybe it was a week ago, was crazy. And PG is a pretty good defender.
Good
And
defender.
he
Yeah.
was making Paul George look like he was in his rookie year. So like that Oklahoma City Thunder is legit. They are real. I'm still where I want to like, yeah, they are a legit contender. Where I'm still like, before I say that, they lack in size, they lack in like it's just like understanding like nobody can guard Jokic. Got it, check. But like, do they have somebody that can go toe to toe with AD? Do they have a front line that can go with the Clippers? Do they have a front line that can go against the Timberwolves? And where I question that, and they have legit talent, top to bottom. That's my only and biggest concern with the Thunder. But good choice, Trevor.
Yeah.
Great choice. That's definitely somebody I've had my eye on like all season. Like literally, like you said, it's just a perfect match for what Shea and Shaq got going on in OKC. So I like it. I like it. I'm ready for your trolling now because that's gonna be fun, man. And I've been seeing a lot on social media as far as them in the playoffs. Of course, it's playoff time or about to be playoff time.
Right.
Getting ready for it. Probably one of the better times to watch basketball. So I'm excited for the rest of the season for sure. We get to your trolling now for sure. But apparently somebody's bored, whether it's Xavier Tillman or whether it's the people on Twitter talking about Xavier Tillman, whether it's both, it could be neither. But what's going on with Trevor with Xavier Tillman? I know he said something about Boston and comparing it to Memphis. Look, as long as he ain't say no shit about him eating off of paper plates, what we talking about here? What
Man, so if you guys haven't checked it out, of course the show of controversy when it comes to basketball takes is Gilbert Arenas is Gil's Arena. Shout out to our guy Josiah, who of course is the host of that. So they had Xavier Tillman on, and they were asking him to compare his time in Memphis to his time currently with the Boston Celtics. Tillman basically responded and said that, Memphis was, I can't quote it exactly, but basically being a young team that we all know that the Grizzlies are, with them being one of the youngest teams in the NBA. And then his time with the Celtics is just being more of a mature type of thing and things of that nature. And then he was also mentioned that Memphis was like going out every single day, like playing their butts off, trying to get the 2 seed and not having a whole lot of injuries. And I just reminded myself, like, bro, the only reason you got the amount of minutes that you got was because of the injuries the Grizzlies had suffered. So I don't know where he was getting that whole thing again. And then Kenyon Martin, love him, but he had to double down and take a shot at the Memphis. He said, I'm so glad that you out of Memphis, so that way you ain't got to worry about getting shot and you can just focus on hooping. To that, I had to just pretty much call everyone out and just call them bored at this point. You guys provide your take. Just go. That's I got you. I gave you the context. Go. Whoever wants to start.
I don't like Kenyon Martin's. I don't like his statement. That's completely unnecessary. I don't.
Yeah.
Granted, he's obligated to say anything and everything that he wants to say, but I believe in the context of what they were talking about, that particular statement was completely unnecessary. Like, don't shade a particular city because yes, Memphis has its problems, but there are other cities that have problems as well too. Like Detroit. Like it's other cities that have crime issues. So when you want to call out a particular city, and granted, Detroit would have nothing to do with this particular conversation, but still, that statement was unnecessary. But to what Xavier Tillman said in terms of preparation, in terms of the locker room and everything that comes with it, I'm not shocked. You legit hear it all the time when you see a player go from, this is no shade to anybody, when you see a player go from the Panthers to the Chiefs, or when you see a player go from the Bears to the 49ers, you hear them talk about all the time that like locker room presence is different. preparation is different. Why? Because those teams are used to winning. They know what it takes. And where Memphis is like still trying to get to the point of where Boston is. And Boston has not won a championship to any magnitude ever. They've been to the finals, but they have not accomplished. I mean, they've accomplished something, but not nearly as much as Memphis has. Like, you understand it. And so for me, as a fan, I'll put the Steelers in this, for example, right? Like, I've heard people talk about like how things are in Pittsburgh versus how they are in Kansas City or New England. So then if I'm somebody that's in the Steelers organization, or in this case in the Grizzlies organization, I need to say to myself, how do I get to that point?
Bingo.
Because I want somebody to say that about my team. I want somebody to come from whatever scenario or atmosphere or the situation that they came from. And when they come to my team and when they go on a podcast, I want them to say the same thing. How do I get to that level? And so you get to the level by you bringing in veterans, you bringing in players that have a winning mentality, and you say, okay, what did you do there that I can implement here? So I have nothing to say negative about Xavier Tillman. If nothing else, I appreciate him for the hard work that he put in. I appreciate the sweat they put in. I appreciate the patience, because what he went through in Memphis is not the best of scenarios, but you'll take him for what he did, right? And so go to Boston, go win. Hell, go win a championship for all I care. Like, but
And
then if
he
you
could potentially come back.
right, and I'll take that. So like, go be the best that you can be in a different organization. But if I'm leading the Grizzlies, if I'm the head coach, if I'm the GM, if I'm making decisions for this organization, I need to take that with a grain of salt and say, how can I be better? In my opinion, Xavier Tillman is not shading the Grizzlies. He's speaking facts. So then you as an organization need to do better. That's how I took that.
All right.
First and foremost, Kenyon Martin, like you hit it, Lito. So I ain't got to go too much, but that was a BS answer, bro. Like, we know what we got. We know the reputation that our city goes through. So for you to just out of bounds, just come out of nowhere and say, yeah, way to get out. You ain't gonna get shot now. That's bullshit, bro. That's bullshit. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But in the spirit of, Twitter and the Grizz fans who have something negative to say, one of the things I'm learning to see is that Grizz Twitter and Tigers Twitter, they hate to have a mirror pointed at them. They hate it.
Yeah.
Because if we literally see the Grizzlies, and I made a damn Twitter page for it. I made a Twitter page for them dancing, coming on to the court every game. You know what I'm saying? Having a good time. That's what we want to see. We love them for it. But that's the preparation time that we were on. Granted, you're going to a literal championship culture in Boston, a team a core that's been to the NBA Finals already. Of course, their preparation is going to be at least a little different. And you got to think it's Boston. So you add that to the mix, and it's way different. So shout out to Xavier Tillman for giving it a mature answer, because everything he said was correct. My thing is, Grizz Twitter, what the hell did he say wrong? Are we dead upset because we don't have the championship culture yet? Sounds like it to me we are. Like, we lost a good one, and it's the thing going around and bring out the conspiracy about ooh. But most times when a Grizzly player gets traded to a team, that team goes on to win a championship or at least be right there for it. So instead of bashing anybody, but Kenyon Martin deserves to be bashed with what he said, because again, that's some bullshit. Let's look at the facts and let's actually cheer for Xavier Tillman, because he was one of the harder working players on this team. He was actually one of my favorite players to watch on the team, specifically because I knew he was going to go out there and grind and put on. So Xavier Tillman, coming from, let's be real, some of the realest in the podcast game, we salute you, bro. Go out there and help Boston win the championship for sure. But we got your back. But Kenyon Martin, full of shit.
And be that veteran presence eventually, because again, Till can eventually come back to Memphis if he decided. So if you got to be that guy, if you're going to learn what all you need to learn from Boston, and if it doesn't work out, or if you get a championship and decide you want to bring that back to Memphis, by all means, because Lord knows Memphis needs it.
Yeah, and to add one thing before we move on, like, you hit it right on the head, bro. Like, not all criticism is bad criticism, right? Like, I love my city to death, and if it was, I love my city to death. But Lord Jesus, well, we could be better. is we are really, really sensitive when somebody criticizes the city and get it checked. Like again, coming from a Memphian, like nobody can talk bad about my city unless you are from the city, right? But like sometimes when somebody criticizes you, you got to be able to take that and say, how can I be better? How can we be better? And so just because a former player goes to another city and says, yeah, locker room presence wasn't this, and we didn't have this, and we didn't have that, that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, bro, because here's the thing, bro. We all work for companies or have worked for companies where one company is better than the other, right? Like I worked at McDonald's at one point in my life. I've never worked at Chick-fil-A, but I'm pretty sure preparation at McDonald's is a whole lot different than it is at Chick-fil-A.
And manners.
It's not that
true.
big of a deal, bro. Like it's not, bro. Like it's okay to be criticized. You just got to learn how to take it and improve on it.
Man, what Ryan said earlier.
There you go.
Constructive criticism works. Yeah. Like, bro really told me I wouldn't get picked for a game of 21, bro. I can't wait to that. I can't wait to that E-dash, bro.
You got 44 days before the end of the season, and you can take.
No, it won't take that long. No, I'm not waiting. Trevor, E-dash. Do you know what that means?
Oh yeah, eliminate from playoff contention. I know.
When that happens, I'm not taking 44 days.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine.
Nah, I got them trolling now, but like I'm trolling, but I'm not trolling. Like it's gonna happen, and I can't wait. I'm ready.
Yeah,
shout out to the Sandwich Plug right there. Shout out to the Sandwich Plug.
No, the same people with that boy shirt. Oh, come on, now, coming soon. We got a whole.
We got merch working. Yeah. We got
Cap been working. Cap been slacking on coming on the pod because he fake working, but he been working. He been working.
Fake working is crazy.
He fake working, man.
Shark is grinding, cuz he grinding.
Nah, real quick before I get,
I'm trolling. It's trolling now. I'm trolling.
Yes, you are. But before I get to my troll, no, I do have some flowers I need to give out because we didn't do any today.
Absolutely.
Flowers and a big shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson, who has been dominating track and field lately. Just signed a multi-year deal with Nike worth $20 million. And the fact that nobody is talking about it, the way y'all criticized her when everything came out, is alarming to me. A great man once said, your apology needs to be as loud as the disrespect. So big shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson. I'm pretty sure she's going to go out and dominate the Olympics this year. So salute Sha'Carri Richardson for locking up their deal with Nike.
Yeah, no apologies coming from this part because we had your back, girl. And way to go. 20 mil. Go get as much weed as you want, girl. Go do your thing. Load it up.
Yeah, you talk about criticism and being able to take it and run with it. Literally, that's what she did. She took all the heat. She took all the criticism that came her way and was like, okay, cool, bet. Now I got this heavy bag on me worth 20 million. Now what you want to say? Like, again, because like all criticism ain't bad criticism. It's not.
That's fact. That's fact. All right. So now
love that.
I have flowers really quick.
Go ahead.
Again, what's up, bro? Yeah, again, with it being that Women's History Month, like again, bro, I know we've talked about on this podcast relentlessly, bro, about women, about women's college basketball and WNBA, but Caitlin Clark, who recently declared that she's going to the WNBA draft, like, cause I'm so excited for like the next couple of years and even the now of the WNBA, bro. Like the amount of talent, the amount of good teams, good players that each player, like we keep saying from these players is huge, bro. And you talk about like one of the greatest scorers, one of the greatest players in women's college basketball. Now she's taking her talent to the WNBA, who is going to play for the Indiana Fever, going to play next to Aaliyah Boston. Like, I can't wait. Oh, bro, I can't wait, bro.
I can't wait either, but all that just alludes to the Aces.
First of all, you laugh. Yeah, but no, man, I'm just so excited, bro, for that league. I'm really excited for them. Like, I'm shout out to Caitlin Clark for making that announcement, for being bold enough to do this. I think she still had a year of eligibility left, if I'm not mistaken. I think So shout out to her for taking her talents to the WNBA, and I'm just excited for the next couple of years that is the WNBA, and even still, then like there's still good talent in women's college basketball. There's still really good talent. Still, the Angel Reese's of the world. There's still Juju Watkins of the world, bro. Like it's some really good talent, and so for those of us like this podcast, for the guys, for the ladies that are continuing to not only talk about it, but tweet about it, post about it. Women's college basketball and women's WNBA is, or the WNBA is huge. So I definitely want to give the entire realm of women's basketball. I want to give them a shout out on this podcast.
That's what's up.
She is 17 points away from breaking Pete Maravich's all-time scoring record for the NCAA. 17 points away. So next game, make sure you
no. She'll get that in the quarter, cuz. She'll get that in the quarter.
Definitely. And let me see. Yeah, that's 32 a game. Got it. I'm ready. I'm ready. Real quick, just to ask you, like, what type? She said, is you setting song pretty much she's going to Indiana? Or like this kind of like projection because they're a weaker team.
I think they have the number. Do they have the number one pick this year?
I think they have the number one pick. I'll check.
Oh yeah. That's check that. That's good.
Yeah. Indiana finna be turned in. Bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out Juju. Oh, of course, shout out Juju.
Cold.
Shout out. We been gave her flowers. So like, come on. She hoop like your favorite niece or like favorite cousin. You just go check out the game, but you realize, hey, hold on, she really cold out here.
That's how I'm sitting there thinking in my head, like, let's say she like you their uncle and like you playing basketball with her, like, hey, hold on, first of all, chill. Like, where you get that cross from? Like, you ain't gotta do that on me. Like chill. Like it's just us. Like you ain't gotta do all that on me. Like that's
I block your shot, right? You're like, you better stop.
She's like, I blocked yours 3 times. So now what you want to do?
Exactly.
Trev, what we got, bro?
All right, man. So for my troll and all, I really did my research for this, and I think this may be the first time it may happen, but assuming the standings in the Western Conference stay the way that they are, troll and all, both the 1 and the 2 seeds will lose in the first round.
Look at these standings.
Yeah, so pull up those standings.
So hold on. So the teams that are in the play-in right now are the Sacramento Kings, the Dallas Mavericks, the Golden State Warriors, and the Los Angeles Lakers. The Warriors and the Lakers are 9 and 10. So if you're the Thunder and the Timberwolves, you either got to see Luka, LeBron, or Steph. And then the Kings, who are formidable themselves. So
I don't think it's a troll. I don't. Because where both teams are really good, and this is not taken away from either one of them, but Minnesota has the coach, I believe his name is Chris Finch.
Yep.
I still got my reservations about him. Again, Minnesota is good. Minnesota is really good, but the head coach still worries me. And again, I know it's the regular season, but the times that I've watched the Timberwolves, I just don't see like that killer instinct in them, right? And again, that can completely change going into the postseason. Things like regular season is completely different from the postseason. But from what I've seen in the regular season and in the previous years, the postseason, is I just don't see like this, like, yeah, I'm gonna put this team under. Like I'm gonna put my foot on their neck and they're not coming up from there. I don't see that with the Timberwolves. And again, we talked about the Thunder earlier. The Thunder are good, have really good talent, probably one of the deeper teams in the conference. They're just young. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not saying that like younger teams cannot win, but when you're going up against the Lakers of the world, and let's say, I don't think there's a scenario in which the Lakers or the Warriors get in, but let's say like both of them get in. Like the Lakers and both the Warriors have much more playoff experience than the Thunder and the Timberwolves. So you as the Thunder, can you overcome that? And I believe that you can from a talent perspective. But again, when you got LeBron James and when you get Anthony Davis, who have done this for years, I just don't know if I can trust it. And the Lakers, again, like from what I've seen, the Lakers aren't a bad team. They just, whoever you want to blame, whether it be the GM or the coach, they just need to get rotations in order. They have, like, based off of their starting five, which is I believe the starting five that they have for the past like 8 to 10 games. I think they're like 7-3. And so they got a huge, important stretch. But like, if they could just get rotations in order, and they could stop playing Torian Prince for whatever reason, he sometimes gets more than 20 minutes. I don't understand that. If they can just get rotations together, they can make a run. So Trevor, what you're saying is not a troll at all. It's not.
Man, I've been going back and forth in my head, bro, about this one because it's a really, really good one, and it's something honestly to think about. And I think the word you said, it, Lito, is killer instinct, right? Like when you watch the Timberwolves, you're absolutely right. I don't see the killer instinct that I want to see, especially from Ant-Man. Like Ant's doing his thing. Don't get it twisted. Like don't get it twisted. He's one of my favorite players. But do I feel like he can turn it up a notch to where we know that he coming to kill his opponent every game? Oh, absolutely. Am I seeing it now? I can't. I can honestly say I can't, and I don't think it. I'm not sure if it's a coach thing, a rotation thing, whatever. But I don't see it to where the point where you can lose against Lakers, you can lose against the Warriors. That killer instinct I see in Shea, y'all. So it's something different, and I know young teams don't typically do well in the playoffs, but at the same time, we've seen a young team in the Grizzlies go and do what they're supposed to do. So experience, if you can hoop, you can hoop. That's what we're seeing from a lot of young guys in the NBA now, especially now that they got a healthy Shaq. Granted, he's not, big, strong to hold it down against AD for 7 games. But at the same time, will he need to? Because at the same time, Shea, when the game slows down, Shea already getting a smooth 30, it's going to be like cakework for him, clockwork. So I do have OKC being that team to win if one of those teams were to win. For everything you're saying about coaching with Minnesota, when the game slows down, how much of an effect will Rudy Gobert have? Mm-hmm. That's the issue that I have because based on what I've seen in the playoffs, that kind of center don't see the court long. So that's going to change the dynamics of their team. Whether it's you can play Shea, you can play anybody next to Shea, and they're going to get the job done. So I got to say, I guess, in a way it's a trouble, in a way it's not. Like I definitely see a point where both teams can lose, but I don't think that team's going to be the Thunder this year.
Yeah, and to play devil's advocate, I think what those teams have a huge advantage over the Mavs, the Kings, the Lakers is those three teams the last 3 teams that I mentioned, every game for them now for the next month or 2 is a playoff game. So we're like they legit like it's minutes are running up for LeBron, minutes are running up for Fox, minutes are running up for Sabonis and Luka and Kyrie and for all them. Versus if you're the Thunder and you're the Timberwolves, like you can't avoid them, but like you can kind of take it easy or you can kind of coast to get to the regular season. Again, other side of the fence is every game that the Lakers are playing, Mavs are playing, Kings are playing, Warriors are playing is a playoff game. And so there's going to be at some point a fatigue factor that has to set up on those teams versus if it was the Thunder, Wolves, and even Nuggets as well.
Agreed. That's a good one, Trev.
All right, appreciate you guys. So, but for me, I can provide my point. I'm saying no because to both of you all's point, and to your point too, what you mentioned about Shea, the same thing that you were saying about Shea about the game slow down, you can say that 100% about Luka, and it's been successful.
True.
For the Mavs because they have gotten to the conference finals playing that way, and then you pair that with Kyrie Irving, who can pretty much do the same thing when the game slows down. The moves they made at the trade deadline to get PJ Washington. Derek Lively has been a godsend for them. And
absolutely.
So I just think with that, and then between the Warriors and the Lakers, again, they're 9-10 right now. So you're more than likely, if they win, they're more than likely going to face Minnesota. And I trust Steph and Steve Kerr, and then I trust LeBron and AD just a tad bit more than I trust the Timberwolves, to your point, because I don't feel they have their killer instinct. I don't think Chris Finch is the guy. Look no further than the Grizz series in 2022. So yeah, that to me, I think both of those teams go out, honestly. It's sad, but it's just the way of how things are going right now. So, but yeah, that's just
it goes without saying. But I'm interested in seeing really how the Warriors finish out the season and what lineups that Steve Kerr use. Like like, of course, I'm gonna check them out regardless. But if we're having troubles and we're still tinkering with lineups and shit in the playoffs or closer to it, I think we may be in trouble. So, of course, bookmark this one. We'll definitely get back to the Warriors talk for sure. But if y'all don't have anything, as Cam just said on his last pod, make sure y'all go check it out. The doors of the church are open. Anybody got anything else to say, man? We're going to get on out of here. If not.
Nah, I'm good, man. I think we said all we need to say.
Man. Shout out to, again, Maturation. Shout out to Cam Newton, man. Shout out to freaking Cam Newton. All right. And, of course, man, shout out to everybody on the network, man. We got the Genius Report. 3 to Hardaway, again, we'll be recording Tuesday. Make sure y'all tap in with us on YouTube. LBR Gaming, Simply Trevor on, PlayStation, PS, right?
PS, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm changing. I'm putting Simply Trevor on both. So it's just Simply Trevor on Xbox. So, yeah.
And bet. Go watch us in the rec hoop. And shoot, if you think you got a pro-am team that you try to get some smoke with, man,
I need a pro-am team. I pretty much got a person for every position. So just let me know.
And again, shout out to Ryan Harris with the Jump Pass Pod, man. Thank y'all for checking us out. Thank y'all for the comments, the likes. Again, we are a few away from 200 and for 3 to Hardaway. So again, make sure y'all rock with us both from there. Hey, just announced All-Star Game 2027. Bring y'all asses out to Phoenix. Lido, you already rock with a brother already, but come on out here, bro. I'm be in a way better position. We gonna kick it. 2027. That's 3 years from now. What y'all doing?
The wife was literally talking to me yesterday about. She's like, we gotta go back to Phoenix.
What we doing?
We gotta go back to Phoenix.
I'm gonna have to do this because it's like going to All-Star Weekend is on my bucket list. So I'm gonna try to make it happen.
We ain't even got to go to the game, bro. I just need y'all here for the environment, bro.
I ain't rich enough to go to the game, big dog.
No.
I got a little money to spend outside, but to go in there, I ain't got that.
I'll go to stuff on Friday. I'll go to stuff on Friday and maybe Saturday.
Nah, man. Appreciate y'all for checking with us. Ryan said he down. We're gonna make this a whole LBR thing, man.
We gotta make this LBR thing, man.
If Ryan is down, that means he got some money that he can give to all of us. So, but
it's
3 years from now.
Another parlay, didn't Ryan? You need another parlay for a racket.
I mean, just imagine between now.
I'm trying to get like you, bro. Because
it's between now and 2020. That's 3 years from now, bro. So imagine the parlays he gonna hit. He gonna have the whole mansion Airbnb ready for us. We're gonna have the mics outside because we be able to do episodes and shit. Like we gonna have the whole set around. We see you, bro. Him and Cap with his fake working ass. We see y'all.
And that's trifling.
Cap, I love you, man. I can't wait to see y'all, man. I can't wait to see you.
That's funny.
But again, man, thank y'all for checking this out, man. Till next time, hit us up, LBR Media. Till next time.
Go Tigers.
Yes, sir.